Hi there, it's Vivi again, and I wanted to talk about the writing process today. I think the beautiful thing about being a writer is that each one of us writes in a different way. The thing is, at first, when you don't know what your writing process is, you listen to people who are saying this is the right way to write, or try this writing way and see if it fits you or whatever. And yes, of course, you have to try different things to see what works for you. But in my experience, I didn't even find my way anywhere. Like, I literally had never heard of anyone doing what I ended up doing. Like, my writing process is nowhere to be found. It's just with me. Maybe there's someone else out there who writes like me, but I don't know. I really don't know. And that's the beauty of the writing process. You try a lot of things and then finally, naturally, you develop your process, your unique writing process, as was my case. But basically, I'm going to describe what my process is like, and I'm going to tell you why it's not the best thing to do, but it's mine, so I'm kind of stuck with it. Let's start from the beginning. What is my writing process like? It's basically the craziest thing you have ever heard. When I mentioned this on Twitter once, people thought it was the best thing ever. They thought that was crazy. Maybe some of them even thought I was lying, but I swear I'm not. It just worked out this way. So this is my writing process, right? Every year, I have 2 periods of the year where I write constantly. And those are usually somewhere around January and somewhere in the summer. So basically winter and summer for me are writing times. And I usually spend at least a month up to 3 months of constant writing. Those are my writing seasons. The crazy part comes next. I would have some days when I would write up to 35,000 words per day. Yeah, I know. Crazy. Crazy. The thing is, usually it's not every day. I cannot do back-to-back 35,000 word days. No way. I'm gonna tell you why later. Basically, this is my absolute record. I have not done more than 35,000 words per day, and that's 2,000 words in an hour, and that's, 17 hours a day. So 17 hours a day multiplied by 2,000 words per hour makes 35,000 words. And that's my absolute limit. I cannot do more because then I would faint, basically. And obviously the whole day would be writing. I would only pause to eat and go to the toilet, and that's it. No conversations, no breaks, almost no breaks. Maybe just a few minutes, and that's it. That's not very healthy, let me tell you. When you write so many words in a day, you get exhausted, okay? So I cannot really do that back to back. So for example, one day would be 15,000 words, the next day would be 20,000 words, the next day would be 5,000 words, the next day would be 30,000 words, and so on. And sometimes I would even write no words because I have to take a break. Duh. The thing about writing so many words in a day, it drains your energy. Quite literally, at the end of the day, you feel like this kind of zombie that's just existing, and you need your sleep to replenish the lost energy. And this is why if you do that back to back, the worst I've done is 30,000 words a day, and then the next day 20,000 words a day, and then the next day 10,000, something like that. It was 3 days of non-stop writing. I think that's how I wrote the book that I'm going to publish this year. It was 85,000 words in total, written over a period of 3-4 days. And you can imagine that's insane. That's not even humanly possible, except I proved that it is. So basically, whenever I do this in 2 or 3 days, I get sick. Yes, I get sick. I have temperature. I would cough, I would, I don't know, maybe get a cold, flu-like symptoms, kind of drained around the face, kind of like, I don't know if you've ever taken drugs, I hope you haven't, but basically there's this kind of shrinkage of the face, which I kind of feel like that when I've done a few days of too many words, because the energy has drained from it, and the energy has drained from my body, which as a result, you have no energy to think, to talk, to do anything. And this is why I do not recommend this kind of writing process. Do not try that at home, kids. But however, I will tell you why it works for me. Even though it's a little bit detrimental to my health, I do try to slow down a little bit and do days with fewer words, and I do try to have 3 days of no writing in between huge bouts of writing, because I am trying to take care of my health. So I do recommend, if you ever try this, don't do back to back crazy writing days, but take care of yourself and your body and your mind. So now I'm going to tell you why it ended up working for me. Basically, I was the kind of writer who could never finish a story, ever. You would find so many beginnings, middles, no endings in my computer that it was embarrassing. I could never finish anything, therefore I could never publish anything, period. That was me, always excited about the beginning and never wanting to finish. And the only solution to that was to go through the story so quickly that I actually managed to reach the end. I think I kind of get a little bit bored of the story, which sounds horrible, I know, but there's so many stories in my head that I just want to write them all. As a result, I get a little bit bored with the old and excited with the new, right? So if I have a new idea every day, I'm like, okay, let's stop that boring old story and start the new one, which some days I just do. I give myself permission to be crazy, excited about new stories and have a lot of beginnings and half-written books, because it's fun. You know, it's fun sometimes to give yourself permission to write however the hell you want. There's freedom in that. And I do allow myself those things, but I also allow myself to go through a story so fast in 2 or 3 days that I literally don't have time to get bored. I know it sounds crazy, but this is my solution to the problem. It happened one day, but yeah, I wrote it in one day. It's a novella of 36,000 words. I don't know, maybe it was 2 days. I don't remember, but I wrote it so fast and I finished it, and I was like on a high, on top of the world, cloud 9. I was so happy. Finally, I finished something. And I know what you're thinking. I mean, I can just force myself to finish something, and sometimes I have, and it's not a big deal, but I can't tell you what a big difference it makes to be so excited about the story still, that even the ending is like so exciting and so crazy. And I am an enthusiastic person, and I want to be excited the whole time I'm writing. Maybe that's crazy, but that's just me. So I have managed so far to finish about, I don't know, 7, 8 hetero romances, and now 6, 7 romances. And bear in mind, I have hundreds of beginnings and middles, and so it's not like I don't have enough stories. It's like the finished ones are a very, very low percent of the stories that I write. Only 5 or 1% of everything I write is finished. And I'm okay with that, because that's my process, you know, to see what I'm going to be so excited about on the second day, on the third day, that I'm going to finish it. And I love those stories the best because I think the enthusiasm shows throughout. It shows that I'm still loving this story. I didn't just force finish it because I had to, you know. And obviously the first draft is not gonna be like super exquisite or fancy or anything. The writing is not great, I mean, okay, I try to do whatever I can in the editing process, you know, to improve the story, to add more characterization, to add more details, to add more things or remove things that are repetitive. You know, I do my best in the editing process, and I think that works for me. I would rather do that and have to edit than spend hundreds of days writing a little bit every day, but it's perfect writing. I would get so bored with every single story that I'm writing. And the thing is, I'm a big picture kind of person. I see the big picture and I focus on the relationship between characters, and everything is about emotion and big picture, right? So it's easy for me to just like blurt something out on the pages and end up loving what I've written. And this is called pantsing, right? You write by the seat of your pants. And it's only interesting when I have no idea what's going to happen. See, this is the caveat in my writing experience. If I know what's going to happen, if I plan it out ahead of time, I'm going to be bored on the second chapter. If I know what's going to happen, why should I write it? It's kind of like reading. If you know what's going to happen, you're bored of it already and you want the next book where you have no idea what's going to happen. And it's really difficult for a writer to have no inkling of what's going to happen because, I mean, you generally have some idea, right? You have some idea, especially if you keep writing and you realize, oh, this could be resolved a little bit later and maybe even explode in the end. And I try not to have those moments or to just stop them altogether, just like a big red stop sign saying, no, we're not going to think about the ending. We're not going to think about what's going to happen. And I think that kind of shows in the writing when the writer is pleasantly surprised or just enjoying the reading experience as a whole. I think it translates to the reader also enjoying it. And the thing is, I know there are like specific structures that you can follow. There are sometimes you can get lost in the writing or go places that you don't want to go because you didn't plan it ahead. And I have been there. I have written half-finished books that were amazing at the beginning, but then went into a weird direction, and I didn't finish them because they went somewhere I didn't expect and I didn't like. And that's okay, because I'm not gonna finish everything, but the ones that I'm gonna finish are gonna be my favorite stories. I accept my writing process. I like it. I enjoy it. It's fun. That's the most important thing for me, for it to be fun. And I think that's all we can ask of anything, right? So anyway, this is my whole writing process. It's a little bit crazy, I know. Tell me what you think of it. Tell me what your unique writing process is. How do you write? Do you plan the stories ahead of time? Do you pants them? Do you get lost in your writing? Do you maintain that enthusiasm throughout the book? Do you prefer a slower pace of writing? Do you enjoy writing a book during a long period of time? Let me know what that's like. I really don't know. I have no idea. Maybe I've tried it, but I didn't like it. There are different writers in the world, and I'm sure that whatever works for you is great. It's just working for you, not necessarily for me or anyone else. So yeah, let me know what your writing process is. What's your favorite part of the writing? And yeah, I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye!